Today we're gonna be giving y'all a straight up game. Let's knock it out. Alright, cool. So today I think we start off with recharting things out. How about that? So we had a pretty interesting week this week in the market. 1 second. Okay, so we had a pretty interesting week this week. One of the things that I'm kind of noticing, give me 1 second, y'all. Let me switch accounts so I can have this up over here. And then we'll do this. Okay. Yo, if you guys can hear me good, everything sounds good, just drop a yes in the chat real quick. Drop a yes down below in the chat if everything is sounding good. Let's see here. Alright, there we go. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so at the moment what we're currently looking at is SPX. I want to definitely head up to a higher time frame. Let's go ahead and delete a lot of these older lines. So what I'm currently looking at is we can go ahead and remove these key levels here. And right now, I ideally just want to see where certain levels are at. So I'm going to delete previous week highs. I'll leave those where they're at. What I'm going to end up doing is try to plan out and see what the market is potentially going to do this upcoming week. So, excuse me, with that being said, I think the first thing is I want to find key support and resistance levels on these higher time frames. So a very key level is going to be this 63.71 level. For SPX. Now this is a previous week low, however this has been a range that we've been in. Another very key level is going to be right here, this 62.41. Around psychological number for SPX is going to be 6,500, right? Or 6,400, I'm sorry. So you know, when the market dips under 6,400, which could possibly happen with this FOMC coming up, we could start seeing a kind of a pullback. The market has been kind of looking a little toppy. I'm not gonna lie. So definitely want to kind of monitor this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually delete one of these lines. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I think we're gonna use this level here. Yeah, this level makes more sense. So 6,500. We'll just move it up to 6,500. Obviously, this is a key level. We'll go ahead and adjust this. Let's just go ahead and add the coordinate in. 6,500. Yo, if you guys are just coming in and say what's up, drop a what's up in the chat. What about Palantir? Yeah, we're gonna look at Palantir tonight as well. I'm gonna chart out my watch list with you guys. So here on the SPX, these are like the main levels here. Obviously on the daily time frame, let me go ahead and just kind of minimize this a tad bit. Good night, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you? So these are our main levels here. So one of the things to look at is another level that we could definitely come back and revisit is going to be 6,000. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen anytime soon, but these are just key levels that you want to watch out for. What's goody, bro? Yo, what's up, bro? What's going on, fam? Let me see something real quick. Let me put this on multi-stream chat, and I should be able to see all the chats now. Let's go ahead and refresh that. Yo, if you guys are on TikTok, go ahead and drop something in the chat. I just want to make sure that the chat is popping up over here as well. Shout out to all my people on YouTube as well. Shout out to everybody pulling up. We just doing some games, some free game that we're giving y'all. Do you use liquidity sweeps? Yes. What stock is this? This is SPX. This is ES futures. What's good? What's up, Troy? Yeah, I don't know why my actual chat has just been bugging out. Let's see. Okay, I'll figure it out later. I can see everything for right now. Let's just get back to it. So these are the main levels here. If we go up to the weekly time frame as well, these levels should match up as well. Another level is going to be this previous year high. So this is going to be a very important level. I'm gonna actually just mark this out as previous year high. Could you teach me how to read options charts, alerts? Alerts are fairly simple to read. The biggest thing is how to read a chart. That's the one thing you should really definitely want to focus on. So this is ES. So let's see on the week, how do we close? So on the week we closed a 2 up. Here we closed a 2 up. Yes, I'm gonna get to Palantir when I get there. Yo, if you guys are in TikTok, let's get to 10K likes. 10K likes. Just spam the likes. Spam it, spam it, spam it. Let me know how you guys like the new setup too. Got some colors and stuff like that switched around. The Strat, yes. So here on SPX, like I said, we've kind of been having some resistance. That's why I was saying it kind of looks a little toppy here at around this 6,600 level. Kind of got to be a little bit careful here going into next week with FOMC. On the daily time frame, we did get this fail 2 up, which is definitely something you want to watch out for going into next week. We'll see what happens, but what I will do is we'll pull up the next ticker. So let's take a look at IWM. I'm gonna basically rechart all of this stuff with you guys as if I was doing it with my community. So Monday is gonna be a new week. One of the things that I want to look at first off is all-time highs here. So if we come over here and we look to the left, this is IWM all-time highs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually just mark this out. We're gonna grab this blue line and we're gonna put ATH, stands for all-time highs. Okay. What's the difference between SPX and SPY? SPY tracks SPX. So what I'm basically doing here, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit, is I marked out this recent level back here on the left. Okay, this is going to be our all-time highs. We want to watch price, especially during FOMC this week. We'll kind of monitor what it wants to do around these levels. We also have an order block right here. So last time we were in this order block around all-time highs, we sold off drastically. So we'll see if price can get up there this week. So this is on the weekly time frame. Let's drop down to the daily. And on the daily, you have a 2-1 setup. So with a 2-1 setup, what you can look for is you can actually mark out this level. So you can say, hey, you know, if we break above or below this candlestick here, this will be a 2-1-2 up on the daily. Now this is not crypto, this is stocks. And then down here, this will be a 2-1-2 down on the daily. And this is how I mark my charts off. This is how I do my watch list. Not my watch list, but this is just how I chart everything. So I'm gonna basically chart my entire watch list with you guys. And then you guys can ask questions as I'm doing this. So if you guys can give me the 10K likes, we'll greatly appreciate it. Can you do cost? So I don't trade Costco. So something I've recently done is I used to only trade SPX. However, recently I had a call with a trader who's done a little over $20 million trading, and just got a lot of really helpful advice from him on things that I could do to be better. So I've created a small watch list of things that I'll trade. There are about 7 to 10 stocks. I'm gonna only trade these stocks. So if a stock doesn't fall into my watch list, I'm not gonna trade it. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we have a 2-1-2. If we drop down to the 12-hour, we had this clean 3-1-2 reversal. This is why we seen that sell-off. I actually need to go back to looking at, what's up, family? Yo, what's up, Affluent? I need to go back to looking at the 12-hour time frame for sure. 1 second, y'all. Let me go ahead and adjust this real quick. Yo, if you guys are in here in YouTube, make sure you guys drop us up. They trading options? Yeah, I do options majority. So here on IWM, on the 4-hour time frame, you had this 3-2 continuation. This previous month high is going to be the next level of main support. So I'm just going to mark this out. Previous month high. And then down here, this is also going to be previous. I'm going to actually just mark this out. This is just another level, 235. It's almost a round psychological number. We'll drop down to the 2-hour time frame. Coming back into support. We just got to see how it wants to react on next week with FOMC. So nothing too crazy here. On the weekly, there's nothing that I would do to swing. Let's move on to the next ticker. What other indicators are you using with the Strat? I'm looking at, or indicators wise, I use Strat Assistant, and then I also use Lux Algo for order blocks. Do you use supply and demand? I kind of use it here and there, but majority of it is the Strat. Looks bearish. Yeah, I think the market is a little toppy. So I ended up calling out Tesla back on, thanks, no problem. I ended up calling out Tesla on Friday. This was a very textbook trade. So the trade itself was from back here, literally just pre-market highs and lows. Tesla likes to run insane on Fridays. So one of the things that I do a lot of times is I'll go back and back test, right? And what do I mean by back test? I'll go see how stocks perform on Fridays or in the beginning of the week. And the reason I'll do this is because I want to have an idea of how it could potentially react again. Let me move this over, adjust this like that. Bam. I kind of want to see how it'll react again. So Tesla was a really simple trade. You know, if you come up here on the 4-hour time frame, literally where I got the entry was off the 4 hours. So when I tell you guys, like, sometimes, like, you know, some of my entries are literally you know, very textbook entries. Majority of them are literally all textbook, to be completely honest with you guys. But this came off the 4-hour time frame. So this 4-hour time frame, if you just marked out the high and the low of the 4 hour right before the market opened, right, and then you waited on a lower time frame, the market opened, right, market opened, we dropped a little bit before running and breaking, and then our target was a gap fill at 384. So on a higher time frame, you had this open gap. Right now we're looking at Tesla. On the higher time frame, you had an open gap to the upside, right? And what we always talk about is gaps like to fill, right? So what do I mean by that? If there was an open space here from sellers back in the past, right, who sold off when Tesla was selling off, there was an open space, 9 times out of 10, this gap is going to fill at some point in time. No one knows when it's going to happen, but at some point in time, it will get filled. And that's literally what happened. We had the gap get filled here. We closed at the gap, right? And then we continue running afterwards. I mean, this gave well over 1,000% for people in the community and just a ton of other traders as well. This gave over 1,000%. So the biggest thing is, like, when you guys are looking at these levels, or when you're looking to trade, you have to look at the times where there's going to be the most momentum, right? I always talk about this. Like, I'm like, a majority of what I do is momentum trading and volume trading. And what I mean by that is, like, I try to catch explosive moves like this. Now, is it going to happen every time? No. But when it does happen, you get paid very well with a small amount of money. And it's not like, you know, it's gonna, like I said, always gonna happen. Nothing works all the time. The best thing you can do is position yourself to understanding what is actually going on. Does that make sense? Drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense. Yo, shout out to everybody. Yo, Antoine, thank you for the gifted, bro. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. You want to position yourself in a manner where you are able to one second. You want to position yourself in a manner where your understanding of what could possibly happen. You try to catch reversals, not as much, unless it's like a complete no-brainer. I don't really as much try to catch reversals, to be completely honest. Does he respond? Yes, I'll be responding. Okay, good. Makes sense. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you're basically trying to catch the majority of the trade, right? Or not even the majority, but you're trying to catch where is majority of investors going to be at. That's where I'll try to trade, right? And this was the same setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and redraw everything with you guys. We're going to rechart this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off on the weekly time frame. So we're going to start off on the weekly time frame, right? So the first thing I notice up here is that there's a little bit of a gap to fill at around 406. Yo, thank you guys for the follows. Kat, Amy, C-Rock, thank you guys for the follows. Amy, thank you for the gifted. So I'm going to mark out the gap, right? And let me turn my brightness up on here just to make sure everything looks clean. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out this gap to the upside right here. Shout out to Reg for the follow. Appreciate you guys, man. I greatly appreciate you. So you're going to mark out this gap. Where do I see this from? Over here on the left, So there's an open space where there were no buyers. The blue dots are my VWAP. It's my VWAP. Shout out to Batch for the follow. MPL, thank you for the follow. So I'm gonna mark out this gap. So this is an open space where at one point in time when we sold off, sellers had so much control where the buyers were just not present, and it created an imbalance on the chart. What do I mean by imbalance? It's basically not an even amount of buyers and sellers at levels. And when this happens, it creates a gap on the chart. So this is something like that's important that I don't feel like people talk about as much, but one of the things you want to look at is, or just keep in mind, is that charts like to be balanced, right? And what I mean by this is like the market, and when you're looking at a chart, it likes to have an even amount of price action spread out across time frames, or not time frames, but across price levels, right? So if there's these open gaps here, at some point in time, the gap is going to come up and fill. So let's say if we rewinded this, right, and you come over to the weekly, this was our gap. So when someone comes in here and they ask me, well, Tez, where did you get the gap from? When I was doing the pre-market call with my Discord, I said, hey, if you look here on the left, right, Friday had never happened yet, right? Friday never happened. So what I'm doing is I'm looking left and I'm saying, hey, there's a gap here at 384, and I'm marking it out. So all I have to do is you click on the line, go to your templates, you have a gap fill here, and then you have another open gap at 405.95. What time do you be live trading? I usually, when I'm live trading with you guys, like on stream, it's usually around 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. Give me the 10K likes, guys, and I'll give you guys a trade that I just took on Friday. It'll be a great trade to take on Monday morning as well, because I'm actually reading it right now. But I think it'll play out very nicely. So if you guys give me the 10K likes, I'll give you guys the trade that I took on Friday. All you gotta do is just sit there, spam the like button. If you guys are in here right now and you want to learn more about the strat, let's say you have a 9 to 5, you have an active income, or you have a few $1,000s liquid, and you really want to say, hey, I'm struggling trader right now, I keep losing money, I keep blowing accounts, I keep just cooking myself, and you want to learn a better strategy, or you want to learn a strategy that will make more sense to you, there's this thing called a Service Plus button. If you click right here, I have a live workshop where I'm going to be teaching 1,000 traders live via a private Zoom, my strategy, how I trade it, and what works best for me personally. So you can reserve a seat. Currently, we're at about 703 registrants for that that live workshop. I can only seat 1,000 people live. So if you click here, you'll be able to reserve your seat for free. It's Service Plus. So if you click right here, that yellow button, you'll be able to go ahead and put your information in. Within 2 clicks of a button, you'll be able to get your spot reserved right now. Okay. Love how you explain the strat, been eating off the strategy bag. Let's go, Zen. I see, you know. I want to further explain it as well, which I'll be doing. Okay, so this is where where you marked out the gap, right? And then on the daily time frame, if you watch this, right, I'm going to zoom this out all the way. Let me make sure that you guys can see it, right? You have the gap fill here, okay? You have an order block. When you break above the order block, you are breaking above resistance. You are breaking above a wall, right? Now, another thing, I don't know if y'all ready for this. I think I need to gatekeep this one. Okay. Damn, do I tell y'all? All right, you know what? I'm not a gatekeeper. You better hit the follow button. So here's what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna pull this up for y'all right over here. Okay. So watch this, y'all. So do you guys see this right here? So this is something called the flow, okay? This is called the flow, okay? So shout out to my guy, JR. Put me on the flow. I knew about it before, but I never really used it, right? And basically what the flow is, I can come in here and I can see how much money, big money or smart money is putting on a stock, right? When they're trading it, right? So let's look at this, right? Let's talk about Tesla. When you go over to Tesla and you type in the ticker and then you go to the time frame, right? So we were looking at this on Thursday and on Friday, right? So I'm going to select the dates, right? When you select the dates, you're going to come over here to filter, and I want to see Tesla calls, right? So I just refreshed. So I'm going to type in Tesla as the ticker. The date is selected. When I go to filter, I want to see bought, and I want to see 7 to 15 days, because I'm doing I'm either doing swings, or I'm doing same day contracts, or not same days, weeklies. So I want to see either 7 days or 15 days, right? You can see both of them if you click both, right? But for right now, I'm just going to click on 7 days. Y'all remember you from Shaker Days. Good to see you doing well. Much love, bro. Yo, much love, man. I appreciate you. Shout out to all my alumni at Shaker, yo. It's crazy. Your boy came a long, long, long way. No lie. All right, so check this out, y'all. So what you can do over here, right? Damn, I need to expand this. Let me see something. Let me see if I can expand it. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. So I'm about to break this down to you guys. So this is called the flow, right? Let me just do this a little bit. Okay. So this is called the flow. I need you guys to pay attention to this, like for real. This is where you want to like spam the like button, because this is some shit that people don't talk about. This is something called tradie ticks. Tradie ticks. It's like the ultimate hacker crazy thing you can use when you trade it. This works for all strategies. It doesn't just work for the strat, right? So what I'm able to do is, let's say I come in here, right? And you know, I'm looking at this on a Thursday and a Friday. Over here it says prems, right? This stands for premiums. This is how much money is being put on contracts. So this is like an inside hack for me to know where smart money is going. So remember, you remember when I told y'all, if you weren't here, this is why you gotta hit the follow button so you can come to these classes. I recently told y'all that if we know that the market is being moved by institutions, right? If majority of the big candlesticks that we see is moved by people who are trading with hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, why would you not want to trade alongside them, right? So in this scenario, let's say you wanted to start learning how to do that. Let's say you trade supply and demand, support resistance, the strat, doesn't matter the strategy. What you're able to do with the flow is you're able to kind of see where they're putting their money at. So right here, $106 million was put on Tesla calls. What was the strike price? $250. So they went super far in the money. Like they went super, super far in the money. And look at the expiration date. So these are the exact contracts that they bought, right? They put $106 million on Tesla calls. These are Tesla 250 calls for September 19th. Then you have another whale coming in, putting $87 million in Tesla calls. Same exact strike price. And then what happens is you start getting this trail of huge whale money coming in, right? And this is all within a 2-day period, right? Like these two orders right here, like this is what, 190 million? $190 million in calls was put in right at the end of the day of yesterday. Is it like a heat map? It's kind of similar to a heat map. I think it's a little bit more precise in a heat map, in my personal opinion. But it's very similar. It just makes it, maybe it's a little bit easier for people to read as well, especially if you're a beginner, right? So here's what you can do, right? Let's say you see all of this flow coming in, right? Let's say you see, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million. Let's say they're just coming in. And this is a live update. So when the market is open, it updates you live. Like you can see the orders coming in. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, it's insane to be able to have something like this, like a tool like this, where I can see how much money is coming in. So like when people be like, y'all are catching these, like in my group, we're catching these big moves and things like that. There's times where I can see how much money is being put on it. So it's not as difficult for us to catch a big move, right? If I see someone put $50 million on calls and I trail them and I go out of the money and the move happens, right? Because think about it. Smart money knows something that we don't know. It's called tradie ticks. Tradie, like TRADY, ticks. TICS. Tradie ticks. You do any futures? Nah, just options. Yo, thank you guys for the follows. If this is at all helpful, make sure you guys hit the follow button and subscribe. Thank you, Desto. Appreciate you dropping that. So this is what I'm saying, right? You can see the flow coming in, right? Someone name a ticker. Someone said Palantir earlier, right? Well, look at this. I can look up Palantir and I can come up here and I can say, hey, there's about $6 million in calls in premiums that have been purchased. Majority of it is bullish because you can see by the green, right? And then you have 74% is on calls. So 74% of the money of this 5.96 million is on calls. And then you can come in and you can see who's putting what where. You can see the time that they bought it, right? And you can see the strike price that they bought. Isn't that crazy? Right? Like imagine you trading, you know, like an Amazon, right? And you know Amazon has an event, right? Let's say they're reporting sales, right? You know, let's say Amazon reports sales, and then you know you see an influx of flow come in the day before they report their sales, right? Well, now you can take an entry based off of flow and based off the setup that you see on the chart. So this is how you do it. You see the flow first. You see the flow first. Okay, big money whales, they're going to put money in this. Why are they putting money there? You might go look up the catalyst. Do they have an event coming out? Is their CEO step? Is something happening, right? Do they report numbers tomorrow? Like what's going on, right? You can ask ChatGPT, hey, I seen you know, $50 million in calls get bought on Amazon for tomorrow. What event does Amazon have tomorrow? That is like when I say I use AI to make my life easier, this is what I mean. I don't like give it all these crazy fucking insane, you know, things. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a very realistic person. I'm not that smart, to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I think I'm fairly smart, but like I'm not like just some complete genius, right? But what I do is I chase my curiosity. I think I just do that better than most people. So what I do is I say, hey, I see this happening. Why is it happening? When this is happening and I see it happening, I chase the curiosity. I ask why. Once I find the answer, I take the risk. But it has to match my criteria. So then I'll check the chart and I'll say, hey, this setup right here, I can take this setup from here because I still want to get a good entry, right? I don't want to just buy it just because I see them buying it. I want to get a good entry, right? And then I want to take the entry and see how it plays out. Does that make sense? Drop a yes in the chat if that makes sense. That's wild. Where do I find the live flow? This is TradyTix. It's a subscription that I pay for. I mean, you can see why you would pay for something like this, right? Like if you had something like this, would you pay for this? Like I'm asking y'all. If you could see how much money is being put on calls or puts, would you pay for it? Right? You can look up, someone said look up SPX. So look at this. Now SPX is going to be a little different. Look at this. Somebody put $2.3 billion on calls. But they got $1,200 strike price. They are so far in the money. $1 to $2, like, but this is what I'm saying. These are whales. And this is why I be telling y'all, like, you know, there's a lot of great strategies, right? But there might be a couple little things that you might be missing. Right? So if you're trading right now and you're consistently losing money, the question is are you going against institutions? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Are you going against smart money? So now everyone who's in here, because you came into this live on a Saturday night while everybody out kicking it, they getting drunk, they getting lit and stuff like that, you decided to go put some time into yourself, right? And join this short live, right? And get a little bit of game. But now you know what smart money concepts is, right? How many of you guys know what smart money concepts is now? Or not smart money concepts, but smart money. Comment yes down below if you know what smart money is. You know smart money is people who are trading with the bag, like not no little bag. I'm talking like M's. That's smart money. So now the next time you come to this live and I talk about smart money, right? You don't have to worry as much about not knowing the terminology. This is why I think it's important for people to come to these types of lives and these streams, is because it's all about the terminology. People get turned off by not knowing the terminology. What's the website again? It's called TradyTix. TradyTix. 20K likes. Oh shit, we had 20K likes. Oh, we ain't 20. Oh yeah. Get us to 20K. I thought he said we was at 20K. I'm like, oh shit, that fast? That's lit. Okay. So you look. This is TradyTix, right? So look. You go to Tesla, right? You see the calls coming in, right? So this is on Thursday, right? So there was about 16 million, 12 million, all of these millions, these calls right here, these were all put in on Thursday afternoon, right before the market closed. So now you got to ask yourself, well, what the hell do they know that I don't know? So now look at this. It's crazy how they match up. So watch this. Watch this. So this is on... where am I at? Hold on, y'all. What day is this? Oh, I'm tweaking. I went back a week. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna adjust this, okay? So watch this. We're gonna rewind this. We're gonna rewind to about right here. So watch this. Watch how I align this. I'm teaching you how to use it now. Okay, how much you pay for it? I can't remember. I think it's like $80 or something. I think it's $80 a month or something. I can't remember. Okay, so I want everybody to pay attention to this. Yo, Eric, thank you for the follow. Rashad, thank you for the follow. HT, thank you for the sub. Alexander, thank you for the sub. If you guys are here on YouTube, make sure you guys hit the sub button. Okay. All right, chat. Look, are these recorded? Yes, they're going to be put up on YouTube. You guys can check it out in my bio. Okay. So, watch this. So you see the flow, right? It's the end of day, right? It's the end of the day, and you see 16 million, 15 million, 20 million come in on Tesla calls. And you're like, damn, what's going on with Tesla? Okay, Tesla's going into a Friday. Teslas like to run on Friday, right? They like to, Tesla likes to trend on Fridays. You can go back test it for yourself. I do homework, right? So I just go back and I look for myself. So in the last 30 minutes of the day, there's all this money being put in on calls, which is why you see this run up right here, right? And this money that's being put in on calls is for next week, right? So not this Friday, so not tomorrow, because we're looking at a Thursday. It's not expiring tomorrow. It's expiring next week. So they bought a little bit of time on it to catch the move. Y'all tracking me? Everybody following along? Let me know in the chat if y'all following along before I keep moving forward. Never heard of Trading Ticks? Yeah. It's a phenomenal platform. Shout out to my dog JR. Okay, everybody's tracking me? Okay, good. So watch this. You see this run up, you see the flow, right? So now you say, okay, I might take the trade with the flow, right? Because this is unbelievable amount of money coming in at this point. Okay. So then you will look at the chart and you will say, like, let's just rewind this. This is exactly how I analyze it. Why is so much money being put on Tesla, right? That would be the question. Well, then if you come over here and you look, well, hey, we have a gap at 384. I wonder if they're playing the gap. That's a question you can ask yourself. Oh, they might actually, you could come to your own consensus. Hey, they actually might be playing the gap. Let me try to play the gap with them, right? So now you go back to a lower time frame, right? And let's say you take the entry, because was this Thursday? Let me see real quick. I don't know why it keeps doing this. TradingView need to get it together, right? So you take the entry because you're looking and you're saying, hey, they might be able to play the gap, right? So look, overnight happens, right? And then you get this consolidation at pre-market. This is the trade that I sent out to my community at around, we did our pre-market call at like 8:30 or 8:45. And I said, hey guys, like I have the recording of the call. I said, hey, Tesla right now, I'm about to start trading it more often, right? However, one of the things I'm noticing with Tesla is we had this strong push up here yesterday, breaking through key levels, previous month high, previous week high, we're above previous quarter highs, right? I think we could potentially make a run. We've been consolidating in this range. So what you want to look for is a break above pre-market highs for a continuation from yesterday, or a breakdown, right, below pre-market lows, and we could come back and fill this gap. And I always mark out my gaps because it's important to know where they are, right? So look what happens. The market opens because you found flow, right? Flow knows more than you. I'm telling you this from experience. 9 times out of 10, if you're getting smoked on your account, it's because you're not trading with smart money. You're not taking the right entries. You sizing up too much emotion. You're not using the right systems, right? Which is why things are a little bit more complicated. Like someone said in the chat, follow the money. I just follow the money, yo. Like I don't make this shit like more complicated than what it needs to be. Granted, y'all might think, why does he have numbers on his chart and all this stuff? That's just how I comprehend it. You ain't got to use that same thing. There's certain mechanics that you can use that can work for you. You know what I'm saying? So look what happens. Market opens and it runs right out the gate straight to the gap fill. I made $800 Friday on Tesla. Good shit, bro. Do you have videos for beginners on YouTube? I do. If you're a complete beginner, I have a free 7-hour course. It's 100% free. There's no like option to put your card in or anything. That link is in my bio. Yeah, it's like super beginner friendly. If you don't know what a stock is, a share, volume, momentum, if you don't know these words and terminology, I teach everything. It's all like recorded in 4K. Yo, B3, chill out, bro. Chill, bro. I don't give investment advice, bro. Like, you gotta go somewhere else with that. Don't be spamming the chat though. Yeah, I have a full, like, if you're a complete beginner, that is in my bio. But if you guys are in here and you're a struggling trader, you're already trading, you've blown a few accounts, you've lost a few $1,000s, or you cannot find your way around things, and you really want to learn this craft and you want to learn how I do it, right? Whether it's block that spam. I can't block it from Streamlabs. They got to fix that. But yeah, if you want to learn the strat and you want to learn smart money concepts and how to really know where money is going from smart money, you can click this little button right here. It's a yellow button. It's Service Plus. I'm hosting a live workshop. It's going to be free. I can only seat 1,000 people though, due to Zoom. They have like these restrictions of how many people can be in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to click this yellow button right here. You're going to put your information in so I can send you the link to join the Zoom. From there, it's going to take you to another page. You will have to register again, so that way I can text it to you, because I can't text in TikTok. So those two buttons, literally 2 clicks, and you'll be registered. Okay? You'll be registered in 2 clicks. So click the yellow button right now below. You're not going to miss anything. You should still be able to hear everything. Ren said, I just got in. Hey, I see you there. Okay, so look. You have this run up. Another thing to look at when you guys are looking at this is we have full time frames. All time frames are green. The quarter, the month, the week, the day, the 4 hour, the hour, and the 30-minute. All of these are green right now. So with me looking at this, I'm saying, hey, there's a potential that we could continue moving to the upside with all time frames being green. We know that the flow is coming in, and you can even look at the flow for that day, right? You might look and see this candlestick. This is what we call a God candle. When you see a candle like this, you might say, if I see this and I know this is smart money, let me see how much money they putting on it right now. How much money are they putting on this, on Tesla right now? Boom, you go over and check the flow. Oh my God, there's another 20 million, another 40 million, another 100 million. Let me size in even more, right? And then look what happens. Another continuation up, and then look what happens again, right? You push up, retest about 394, right? And then from there, I mean, we continue. Like, this is straight strength. This is straight up strength. Are y'all is this making sense to y'all? Is this like clicking for you guys in here? This is all strength right here. So now when you're looking at this trade, you're saying, hey, Tesla has a lot of strength. We also know that the market has FOMC, right? And we're going to hear about what Powell is going to do with interest rates. We know that is coming up next week. Is this the catalyst to maybe push us over 400? Well, guess what's at 400? A gap fill. See how I'm saying? So it's like these things are aligning. You just got to know them. And that's why you need to join the live workshop. Because of you now, I make $7,000 a month. Thank you, bro. Hey, that's lit, bro. Shout out to you, gang. Shout out to Dex. Again, if you guys want to know this stuff, just click the yellow Service Plus button right here. Once the 1,000 signups is hit, not really much I can do at that point. Maybe I'll host another one. I don't know when. But yeah. Tradie Ticks, that's what it's called. Liam, what's the best way to find a big move, just news only? There's a few different ways. You ideally want to just have a watch list though, and only trade a certain amount of tickers, and then you'll notice like the personality of those stocks. What's a gap fill? So Aviator, basically or AJ, what a gap fill is when the chart is imbalanced. So there's buyers or sellers completely missing from a certain price range. And when there's no candles in between, it creates an imbalance on the chart. So it's just like naked space where only one party had majority of control. And at some point in time, that gap is going to come back up and get filled. It could be a gap to the upside, or it can be a gap to the downside. Either or. Okay. So yeah, this is how we play Tesla. I don't know if you guys care to see results from the Discord. Y'all can let me know down below in the chat. Do you guys want to see like some screenshots from people who made money on Friday, or do you want me to just keep moving on and charting? Just say move on or just say results, whichever one. You guys want to see some wins from there? Jimmy, I can't join your class. Click the link in my bio. Move on, move on. Okay, majority of people are saying move on. I don't think people really care about the results, right? Yeah, okay, majority of people are saying move on. Okay, cool. So let's keep going. So here on the daily time frame, I'm charting this out with you guys. Okay, so we broke out of this range right here. So we had been consolidating in this, not even consolidating. I mean, this isn't a bad space, but we hadn't had a real clear trend break, right? So like these, you're creating some higher highs, some lower, higher lows. You were making some of them, but this is the real key breakout here. So we have a break above this level, right? This is on the daily time frame. I marked out my gap to the upside. So what I can do is I can remove this gap because it's already filled. Okay. But now I have a gap at 405.95 for Tesla. So this is my idea going into next week. It is likely that Tesla will retest 400. However, 400, if you guys never heard of this, there's these things called psychological numbers, right? Things that end in 00, right? 400, 500, 6,600, 6,700, 150. You know what I'm saying? Like just these numbers are round numbers, right? I want you to remember that. A key psychological number is just a round number. Think of it like that, right? So with round numbers, these are major levels. Like at almost every stock, as soon as it comes up on a round level or round price, it is a major level where you want to pay attention to, right? So us coming up on 400, that is going to be a key level, right? When I say key levels, it's literally a very important price, a very important level, okay? So 400 is something I'm watching for. If we break above 400, we can go to 405.95, and then from there we will continue charting from there, okay? But on the daily time frame, there's no particular setups per the Strat. On the 12-hour, I would check the 12-hour on Monday morning when we do our pre-market call. On the 6-hour and the 4-hour, nothing here that I would ideally want to take. This here is a gap to the downside, so if we do pull back, we could come back to 372 and fill some of this gap. Okay. Uno, thank you for the gifted, bro. All right, cool. So no setups here on Tesla. Let's move on to Oracle. Now Oracle, absolutely monster move. Absolutely godly move. Now here's the thing that I want to talk about here on Oracle. Okay. So someone might ask, well, Tez, why did Oracle run like this, right? Well, they had their earnings, right? They reported earnings. Now, when you're looking at a run up like this, right? I mean, like this is from 242 to, I mean, it opened at 320. That is insane. So this is what I always say. This is a terminology you should hear. Gaps will either fill or they will continue. What do I mean by that? When this gap was created, we're either going to continue upward or we're going to retrace. That is what normally happens majority of the time with a gap. So when I say a gap either fills or it continues, when there's a naked space on the chart like this, look at it continues in that direction before it starts pulling back. So here's the thing, right? People always I think especially with a lot of traders, they penalize themselves for not catching this or not catching this. So let's say, most traders are going to completely just call themselves garbage and all this stuff. I'm not a good trader. You're really you are basically hurting yourself, right? That's the best way to put it. You're basically hurting yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to catch every crazy move. You're not going to catch every single trade. You got to stop being so critical of yourself. You are human. You are supposed to make mistakes. You're not a robot or robotic. You're not going to catch everything, right? So look, let's say you missed this move. Don't come into the market the next day like, oh my God, like you upset and then you're trading upset. That is how you, like, I think people don't look at the small things like that. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Da 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 da. And then you got FOMO. And then you got FOMO, but now you're not thinking straight. You're not even considering your plan now. So now you coming in thinking, oh, you know what? I'm just short this. Because I mean, look at this move. I mean, we got to come back down. No, it does not have to come back down. You got a continuation, right? You got this gap up in a continuation. Then you have a pullback, a retracement, right? The ideal thing you should have been doing here is watching for certain types of candlesticks that will show you that there is a reversal coming. Another thing, right? Another thing. When you look and you see something like this happen, 2 to 3 days later, a lot of times what will happen when you get crazy moves like this is that it'll start pulling back. This is all profit taking, especially going into a Friday. These contracts are going to be like, y'all, like, I can't wait until y'all can perceive this the way that I perceive it. And I'm still getting better. I just want to put that out there. I'm not perfect. Please. I'll be getting smoked some weeks too. I get cooked, right? But it's about your perception of viewing the market. And I think that, you know, I journal a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I just was to open this up, this is my journal. And I am literally like every day, like I'm journaling every single day. I need to know what goes on the market, what mistakes did I make. Like, I journal every single day. This is my second journal, right? Because I went through my first one. And I say this to say because you have to study. If you don't keep seeing these things, it's going to be difficult for you to understand what's going on, right? So if you looked here, you've seen this gap up and we go. This is a gap and go. Now, so this is the gap and go right here. Over here on the next day, the very next day, you have this actionable signal, which is a 3-bar. So what I always talk about to my community as well is when you get a 3-bar at pre-market, right before the market opens, and then you were in a range here and this stock already moved insane, you could have looked for shorts right at the open. You already know it gapped up insanely, and you already know we started pulling back midday the day before. So now if I seen this pullback here, right, and then I get an actionable signal which is showing me that we could potentially continue, why would I know? At this point, you just go in and whatever happens, happens, right? You're not going to catch every big move, but if you don't take the shot, you're not going to catch anything, right? So when you identify this and you short at open, look what happens. This is from 330 to, I mean, look at this, from 330 all the way down to 300, 304. So, and now let's connect everything. You can't be mad at yourself for not catching the run up when there's always a possibility to catch the fall down. Does that make sense? Is that clicking right now? Don't come into the market upset, ready to crash out because you missed the run up. There's majority of the time going to be a pullback. Exactly. And the move down is way faster. So like, think about it like this. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this, right? But the market likes to take the stairs up and the elevator down. Think about that. The market likes to take the stairs up and the elevator down. What does that mean? When we slow up, or like when we going up, it's kind of like stairs. And some days you might get a consistent, like a pop, right? Or you might get a trend day, and those happen. But when there is selling momentum, that elevator down, I'm talking like this is the elevator down right here. I'm talking like straight snap of a finger within 30 minutes, completely getting smoked. These contracts, right? If you would have went super far out of the money, right? If you would have went 300 puts, I mean, and this is on a Thursday, if you would have went next week, $300 puts, you would have been up so much. You don't, and it's like those are super far out of the money. So people be thinking, oh, I need thousands of dollars to trade. Nah, you just need to go out of the money. Especially with something like this where it was a shit ton of momentum to the upside. When you're catching the downside, you know that it can take the elevator down, so the move can happen really fast. So what you can do is you can position yourself super far out of the money. You can get multiple contracts, you can spend less money, but you can have the move happen quicker and get paid a lump sum. 1,000%, exactly, Juan. Like you can catch a 1,000%. Dan said this isn't live. This is definitely live. Sorry, what do you mean when you say out of the money? So out of the money is damn, I wish I could pull up the options chain. So when you guys are trading options, right, you got to choose a contract to trade, right? Obviously today isn't Thursday. I'm back testing with you guys. Come on, y'all. We got to click. Just make it click. So there's this thing called the options chain, right? Right now I'm talking to Shay. So Shay, there's this thing called the options chain. So this is how you trade options. And the options chain is just basically like if we were to go to Chick-fil-A and they got a menu, right? This is our menu, for example, our menu for trading. So now with the options chain, there's these things called strike prices, right? So we know that if you're taking calls, you're betting on a stock to go up, right? Think of, if you're trading, right, and you're trading options, there's things called calls. Calls is you're betting on the stock to go up. So put your hand like this and notice how your hand is pointing up, right? It's pointing up. When you pick up the phone, right, you're going to make a call, right? That means I'm betting on the stock to go up. When I'm putting the phone down, like putting it down, I am betting on the stock to go down. So that's how options trading works, right? Now there's a couple other things that are within that, right? But this is just the overall basics. Now, on the options chain, it allows you to see the strike prices. So what is the strike price? The strike price is basically where you think the stock will get to by the expiration date. What do I mean by that, right? So we know calls and puts, right? But now the strike price. So this is now saying, let's say Oracle, for example. Let's say I grab $300 puts. What does that mean? Am I spending $300 on puts? Like, no, that's not what that means. $300 puts means I think that Oracle can get to $300, right? I'm betting on it to go down to $300. That's basically what you're doing. And then the expiration date, which is basically like this, like a contract, right? Like this, right? Let's say me and you had a contract. Well, this contract expires, right? So when you buy an options contract, it has to expire on a specific date. So now what it's basically saying is next week on Friday, I'm gonna have a contract stating that I'm paying for this contract. I think that this stock can go to $300 by next week on Friday. If it doesn't get there, I will lose money. If it does get there, I will make money. If before then it gets closer, I can sell this contract. It's basically like, once you buy this contract, you can sell it at any moment. So let's say you buy a contract, you can sell it literally 5 seconds later after you bought it. You can sell it 2 minutes after you bought it, right? You can when it moves in your direction, you can sell it and you can take your profits. If it moves against you, you can close out. You don't have to take a bigger loss than you need to, right? And you can close out and you can move on. You can take your small loss. Shay, does that make sense? Does that make sense for everybody else as well? Do you guys understand options, especially for my beginners? Does that make a little bit more sense? Okay, I signed up and downloaded the WAP app. Hey, welcome in, Samira. Yes, I scalp, get in and out. Hey, be like that. Yes, that's something called scalping. Thank you, everyone. And yes, it does. Thank you, Don says. No problem. Of course, no problem. No problem at all. Okay, just got in. Welcome in. Okay, so this explains this. Now let's go ahead and chart this out. So on the daily time frame for Oracle, so this is what I'm talking about right here. So if I'm going into FOMC week, what I'm looking for is to see if Oracle could come back down to 259. Why? Because we have a gap at 243. Now, am I saying that's unrealistic for us to get all the way back down there? I'm not saying that. But think about this. I want y'all to think with me. You have a catalyst. What is a catalyst? This is a very, very big event or important event that's going to happen that will make or break the pricing in the market, right? Price action is going to elevate it in either direction. And that's called FOMC, or when Powell speaks, because we're going to hear about interest rates, okay? So listen to this, right? Look at this chart and think about the catalyst. I know that Powell is going to be letting us know about interest rates. If we don't cut interest rates, the market is likely to sell off. If we sell off, if he does not cut interest rates, if he doesn't have a valid reason to cut interest rates, right? And we do sell off, if SPX, which is the top stocks, right, in the United States, if this main thing sells off, the rest of the market will bleed with it. If it bleeds, the first stock I'm coming to look at is Oracle. Why? Because look how much you gapped up. You're already starting to make the move back down, but look how much further you have to go. You have from 291 all the way to 243. Does this make sense? Are y'all seeing how it's starting to align? Are y'all seeing like how it's starting to align? Odds of a rate cut on Wednesday is now at 100%, bro. Well, here's the thing. Just because you do get a rate cut doesn't mean the market reacts the way you think it will. People think when you get a rate cut, the market instantly pops. But this is why you got to do due diligence, because a lot of times when we get rate cuts, the market actually sells off. And that's something you can go look at. Go look back in the last 2.5 years. Anytime we got rate cuts, what happened over a 72-hour period from the time that you got the rate cut? And then you report back to me. That's homework. You got to be analytical. You know what I mean? You can't be guessing with this shit, you know? I played Oracle earnings and made $20K off $300. I got super lucky, but it was its biggest overnight gain since 1992. Yo, shout out to Joseph. $300 to $20,000. That's what I'm saying. Like, I like options trading, bro. Like, I like the fact that I could turn a small amount of money into a bankroll. You know what I mean? Like, and is it gonna always happen? No. But like, I think the more reps you get, the more you learn, the more you keep showing up, the closer you get to getting those types of trades. Now, are there beginners who catch crazy stuff like that? Yeah. Like, I had somebody who joined my group. She was a mom. I don't want to say her name, but she's a young mom. She's like 20 and she's in college. And she came in. She's like, Tez, like, you know, I have a son, and right now I work a lot and I'm in school, and my mom kind of helps me with my son, but I really want to, like, I don't want to be stuck working a job and not being there for my son. And I'm like, okay, well, like, what do you feel like is going to be the solution for you and him? She was like, well, I just need to learn the market. Like, I know for a fact that if I learn it and I really just stick with it, I'm only like 20, 21. I know if I learn it and I stick with it, it's something I can teach him. It's something that can give me financial freedom. It's something that I could, you know, do without having to leave him. And I said, I agree. I said, but are you willing to dedicate the time and the energy that goes into it? Are you willing to take the L's? Because none of this is going to be easy. I'm a straightforward person, y'all. Like, I'm not one of those people that try to sell you something. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? But in that scenario, I understand where she's coming from, because I had a kid at a young age too. So I asked her these questions, right? And her thing is like, you know, she ends up enrolling, right, into my community. And this is, again, I don't like talking about scenarios like this, but it does happen. But it's like, it doesn't happen extremely often. But she came in, we caught out a trade on Robinhood. This was around a time that Robinhood was breaking the $100 level. As soon as it broke, it ran a 112 same week. And the like majority of the people in the group, we caught anywhere from 600 to 1,000% on that trade. So she came in with $200. She caught 900% and made $1,800. And like, whatever she paid me to be in the group was already paid for the next day. right? And it's like, I don't like talking about scenarios like that, because it does not always happen. And it's like, I don't like to sell people a dream. I like people to know, I would rather you come in taking L's. Like, I love you, but it'll be better for you to come in and not come in on this like high where like, boom, I just turned 200 into 1800. You gonna love me to death, but then when I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know, I don't know. I like being realistic with people, but it works. And this is why I like options trading. Like, to be completely honest, I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? Use Weeble, yeah. Would she have lost more than 200, or do you only lose what you put in? We size for 0 on some of our trades. What I mean is you only lose what you put in. So she only put $200 in. It was either gonna go to 0 because she was okay with losing $200, or like it happened, she made $1,800. Like, imagine that. Like, you know, you sign up for this group, you come to one of these lives, you sign up for this group, you're already kind of skeptical about the stock market, you don't really know too much. You come in, you got all these supportive people, you know, they calling out trades, you doing calls, you learning, you like, oh my goodness, right? And the next day, after you come in, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just take this trade that Ted sent, you know what I'm saying? Because it seems like he's pretty confident in it, right? You take the trade, and then it goes 900%. I mean, like, that's just fucking crazy, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, that's just one of the quick story. But yeah, if market ends up selling off Wednesday, Thursday, gap fill on Oracle is likely to happen. At least that's what I'm looking for. So we'll come back, right? If you hit the follow button, you'll be able to come back to this live. And then when it does happen, and I'm sitting here and I pull up the P&L and I'm like, did I not show y'all? Then you'll know. I use Weeble. I'm going to do a $1,000 challenge though. I'm going to try to trade every trade. I'm going to try to grow an account from $1,000 to $10,000, taking every single trade live. That way, if you grow it with me, you grow it with me. You don't have to pay me anything. And that way, if I fail publicly too. Because I think that removing all ego is vital for me personally. Because I don't ever want to feel like I'm just some obsolete person. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Risk management is definitely key. Yeah, you got to have good risk management. When I do the $1,000 challenge, I'm probably going to be risking anywhere from 5 to 10% of my account per trade. Which is not, I would not be doing that on a bigger account. Like, if you have like a $10,000 plus $1,000 account, I wouldn't be risking 5 to 10%. But because I'm smart, starting with a smaller amount, and I'm going to have other people with me, I don't want this fucking take months. I'd rather it take within a month or 2, or maybe 3. But at least I'm taking them live. When you starting, I got to open up the Robinhood account. That way it's as transparent as possible. Yeah, you got to risk a lot to do that challenge. No, you don't. You just come into, well, are you saying like to grow? Yeah. I mean, the percentage wise, yeah. I see what you're saying. My bad. Or it will be boring. Yeah. I'm not going to risk like $250 of a $1,000 account. Hell no, I would not do that. I definitely won't do that. Let's go down to the 2 hour, 1 hour. Yeah, we had this open gap. Oracle looks so good. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write this. I'm going to put this in my notes. Where would I put this at? I'm gonna just keep it in mind. I'm gonna recheck it anyways. So this is something I will put on my chart. Like, hey, this is something to watch. For those of you guys who are in the live right now and you want to learn more, my group is currently closed at the moment. I'm sorry, we hit capacity. However, if you have a 9 to 5 or some sort of active income and you have a few $1,000s liquid and you're already trading, you're just having trouble with consistency and profitability, you want more help, or you want to learn more about how I trade, I'm having a live workshop where you can join for free. It's a Zoom call. It's going to be 1,000 traders in there. If you don't have money, if you're completely broke, you should not join. However, what you can do is there's a Service Plus button right here. This is a yellow button. You can go ahead and click that button and you can go ahead and reserve a seat to the live Zoom. Okay, so you click this button right here, Service Plus, right? It should be like right there. Okay, you click this button right here, and then there's within 2 clicks you'll be able to register, and then you'll be able to go in and reserve a seat. Now, if you guys are on TikTok and you don't see this yellow button, just go over to the link in my bio and click the first link. You'll be able to sign up. Can you show us trading ticks again? Yeah. Let's do it. So what I'll do is I'll pull up UNH. Someone actually commented that earlier while I was on one of my rants. Okay, so this is a trade that I would be, Oh my God, look at this. Man, I wish I would have seen this. Oh, that's so sickening, bro. There's $1 billion on UNH calls for next week. Bro, this is insane. This is absolutely nuts. So this is all the money that's being put in on UNH. Like this whole thing, look at this. Do y'all see this? 23 million, 22 million, 22 million, 23 million, like 17 million, 20 million, 16 million, 17 million, 17 million, like 16.5, like this is insane money going in on UNH next week. So UNH is definitely on my watch list for sure for next week. And I bet you I know what it is. On UNH, let me see if it's on, yeah. On UNH over here, if you go to the daily time frame, oh my gosh, bro, they're so genius, bro. Look at this. So again, same thing. This is exactly how I do this. I go and I see what the flow is showing me. When I see that there's all this money being put on this stock, I go to the chart. And then what do you notice on the chart? An insane gap up to 377. Is this clicking for y'all now? Like, I feel like the amount of examples that I've been giving y'all, I feel like this should be really like, oh my gosh, like this really works, or it makes sense to me at least. Is this Forex? No, this is stocks. Yeah, Spooky, that's fine. Let me know that it's clicking for real. Good. Zen, I know you be locked in. I love to see it. I gotta lock in, man. It makes sense to me. Good, good. Check CoreWeave. We'll take a look at CoreWeave. I haven't looked at their chart in a minute. So this is Trady Ticks. So look, this is exactly how I do it, right? At the end of the day, in the last 15 to 20 minutes of the day, I'll go to my watch list, right? And I'll look up the stocks on my watch list. I'll look up UNH. I'll look up Apple. I'll look up Oracle, Nvidia, whatever, right? I'll look up my favorite stocks. And what I'll do is I'll say, where is insane amount of money? What do I mean by insane amount of money? Like $10 million, $15 million, $7 million, $3 million, $4 million, going all in a line, going in a particular direction, whether it's calls or puts. When I see that, I go to the chart immediately. It's called Trady Ticks. TradyTics. Right? Thank you, Senna. Thank you. So look, I can see all this money. So look, pay attention, y'all. This is why I want y'all to pay attention. You see the flow. You say, holy fuck, this is a lot of money being put on this. Amazing. Let me go look at the chart. You come to the chart, you go to the daily time frame, you're like, oh my God, there's a gap at 377. So they're playing the gap. They're so smart. You know what? I think I want to take the gap with them. So then you go down to a lower time frame. You might go to a 4 hour, right? And you might say, okay, great. Well, I'll look for my entry above this 2 bar right here, above 360. That's where I'll likely want to get in to confirm that it's a breakout, as opposed to, it going back in the opposite direction, since we do have gaps to the downside. So now you have your entry. When price breaks above 360, you're looking for UNH calls. You can go far out of the money, right? And your goal is to take out 377.31. That is a free trade that I literally just gave you. If the trade does not break above 360, and if it does not trigger, you don't take the trade. Simple as that. This is how I find plays. This is how I find plays that can pay your rent in a day. You know what I mean? Like, plays like this can pay your rent, and literally, if you just be patient, you take the trade when it triggers, and you sit and you be patient. These are the type of trades that can pay your rent, can pay your phone bill, it can pay your insurance bill, it can pay, it can help pay food for the month. If you got kids, it can help pay for some clothes for your kids. Like, for real. Like, it's just, this is how I do it. First time hearing from you, and I already heard a lot. Thank you. I hope you continue to come back and learn more. Yeah, if you guys want to learn more about this, smart money concepts, flow, things like that, click this Service Plus button and reserve a free seat to the live Zoom workshop that's coming up on Sunday the 21st. Just click right there. Just click it. Click. Great content. Thank you. Tez, thank you. I do. Oh yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. All right. What stock did I say I was gonna take at? CoreWeave. Let's take a look at CoreWeave. So UNH. I have UNH, Oracle. So I'm building my watch list with you guys right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our handy dandy keypad. All right. I mean, not keypad. Notepad. And no, I'm not endorsed by this company. I should be if I'm showing it. So we're gonna say Monday's watch list, and this is what I'm gonna send to my group. So basically, I'm doing homework with you guys right now. So Monday's watch list. Can you slide the screen over more? My bad. Let me just type in CoreWeave, and then we'll look at here real quick. I'm gonna just pull this over here like this. Look at this 2-1-2 reversal off of order block. Okay, so Monday's watch list, we got UNH, $1 billion in call volume, plus gap at 377, or just call it 378. We'll put a star next to this one. That one is very important. Next up, you have Oracle coming back through the gap. Gap fill is at 254. Is at 254. Okay. And then I think Tesla was on there too, but these are my first two. So those are the trades that you guys can take too. UNH, we got $1 billion in call volume. That's where we got it from. The gap is at 378 to the upside. Oracle, already coming back through the gap. Gap fill is at 254. Okay. All right, let's continue moving forward. I'm literally just building out this watch list with you. So look at this. CoreWeave actually. So what I'll do is we were in this range here. So we were stuck in this range. We got a breakout. So look, watch this, y'all. You have a zone that you're stuck in, right? You've been chopping up in here. You break this range, gap up. You come down and retest this level here. And you can tell it's a retest by the wick of the candlestick. Right? So look at this wick. The candle market opens. It opens, sells off, and the buyers step back in and it gets bought right back up. Closes here. So if I were to look at CoreWeave, I will want to look for calls above 115.31, and then you also have a gap fill up here at 130. Now, am I saying that's going to happen this week? No. I'm saying that if you wanted to take this trade, you would take calls above 113.31. Your targets would be this level here, this recent wick at 119 or about 118.64. And then your next target will be 124.90 before 130. So this is something that I actually like. And then what you can do is, guess what? You can go over to the flow and you can say, hey, how much money is being put on CoreWeave? Well, not an insane amount of flow. There's about $472,000 in calls for next week, but they're super far in the money. There's $275,000 in calls for 105, so they're in the money as well. Okay, cool. So there's a little bit of money here. Maybe I'll check it on Monday to see if the money consistently flows in. So we'll add CoreWeave. Break and retest. Gap to the upside. Calls above. Your calls would be above 120, or no, I'm tripping, 115.50. I'm just round it up. 115.50. You probably want to buy 2 weeks out. Okay, y'all still following along? Are y'all writing these down too? or y'all just here watching me, you know what I'm saying, get ready to make money. And then what I'll do is I'll set an alert here. So I'm gonna put an alert at I'm gonna set an alert at 1:15:50. 1:15:50. CoreWeave breaking out. CoreWeave breaking out. Okay, my bad, y'all couldn't see this. So CoreWeave breaking out. Could fill gap. Okay. So now I have the alert. So now if it triggers, I get alerted straight to my phone. I can take the trade based off what I see on my chart. I take the trade. It either works or it doesn't. Go 2 weeks out. Do you wait for expiration date or you close before that? It depends how much I'm up. If my trade goes up 300, 400%, I'll take some profits. Like I'll sell the trade and then I'll roll it over, right? So I'll sell and then go back in. Why 2 weeks out? Because we have FOMC next week and it's possible we can consolidate in the beginning of next week. So you want to give yourself some time. This is CoreWeave, Lynn, CRWV, CoreWeave. All right, let's get back to my watch list though. So Amazon was another one that I wanted to look at. So Amazon to the downside likely as well. We have this gap fill at 223. You also have a gap to the upside at 235. So you have a gap on both sides. One of the things to look at is we're kind of in this range where you'd really want to just kind of be a little bit more careful before looking at an entry. I probably wouldn't touch this until we get a clear direction, because this isn't as clear as I would like it. So those other trades that I was showing y'all are like more clear, clean trades to take. These are kind of like, you know, like if I had to rate it, probably like a 6.5, 7. You give swing trades? Yeah, I'm getting more into swing trades. I'm usually day trading. But I started off swinging shares and things like that. So I've asked this twice. Which strat traders did you learn from? Exactly. Rob Smith, JR Greatness, iCurlyK. This is Trading View. How can you tell the gaps? The red blocks. Red and the green blocks. What's the purpose of rolling up? So if you take a trade, right, and it goes, let's say 500%. You don't want to sit there and go and see if it can get to 1,000, because if it pulls back, you lose majority of your profits. So what I do is if I'm up 300 to 500%, I'll close out my entire trade. I'll take my profits and then I'll go back into the trade again with maybe 20% of my profits or 25% of my profits if I think it can continue to run. That way I'm always playing with profits instead of losing the whole thing that I just made, which I think a lot of people have trouble with. Rolling over, basically like take profits, roll into the next trade. So rolling your profits into the next trade. You trade FVGs? Yeah, I don't trade it the way that most people trade them. I just seen you. See me where? Do you have a signal or a copy trade? I have a Discord where I send out all my signals, but it's currently closed. The closest thing to joining the signals group is joining the workshop. Another thing that I didn't tell you guys as well, when you reserve a seat, you don't leave runners. Sometimes I do. Basically that is runners when I re-enter with profits. Damn, what was I saying? Oh, when you reserve your seat, right? When you click this yellow button and you reserve your seat for the live trading workshop, okay? What'll happen is you'll also get a private invite to a private trading group as well. So it's a free group, and you guys will be able to, you know what I'm saying? What's the word? You'll be able to join other people who are getting ready for the workshop as well. Lifetime. Oh shit. What's up? What's up? I don't use prop firms. I received confirmation to my email for the School of Threaded Arts live trading workshop. Yep, that's us. That is us. That is us. Okay, so we did Amazon, not really something I want to trade. We already went through ES. Did IWM, we did Tesla, we did Oracle. Okay, let's take a look at Robinhood. All right, so Robinhood is coming back up on this 114 level. We have this gap. I'm gonna go ahead and just move this down slightly. So I have this gap under 114. We could come back down and retest previous week highs at around 106.08. This up here is our all-time highs, 123.45. Right? Let's see here. So after this run up, I'm gonna go to the weekly. So we're rejecting these highs here. If we flip back through 110, it's likely that we can come back down here to 95. This is on a higher time frame. Robinhood doesn't look bad as a trade setup. I would just need more confirmation under this level here. I would have to see what price action looks like under that level. Robinhood doesn't look bad at all either though. Let's take a look at Coinbase. So I actually took Coinbase calls breaking out of this range here. So what I'm looking for is Bitcoin. I'm actually looking for Bitcoin to make a clean break, especially with the event coming up for FOMC. So Bitcoin is currently sitting at around 115.67 or 115.17. 115.719. Damn, I can't read that shit. So what I'm looking for this, right? I'm actually looking for us to break this 116 level here. 116.858. If we can break this upcoming week, we could see Coinbase make a run. What'll likely happen is if we break this level here, we could come back up to around 120, 119, 120. That would be great for Coinbase. So look at this. I'm taking a trade on a breakout, right? And then you have a gap fill all the way up here at 376.75, and it's confluent with Bitcoin. So if we do get rate cuts, Bitcoin will fly, crypto will fly, Coinbase will follow. So it's like I'm kind of like inversing it as well. This is where this trade idea came from. But we're already in swings for next week, so we'll see how it plays out. My target is 341, which is the order block, the halfway mark of the order block. When can you teach me this? All you got to do is click this yellow button right here, and you can join the live free workshop. You can join that workshop, and we'll be teaching everything live. We will teach everything live. Just got to reserve a seat. Yo, 200 followers this live is pretty crazy. Coinbase looks really good. We're already in swing, so I can kind of skip down. Auto Fibonacci retracement, relative strength, tops and bottom circles with alerts. Yeah, you can use that as well. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of different strategies. You just got to find what works best for you. Yo, thank you guys for all the follows, man. 207 follows. I don't know. Can we get to 300? That would be amazing if we get to 300 follows. I don't know if I've provided enough value to earn 300 though. We'll see. All right, so this is Coinbase. What broker you use? Webull. Okay, we already looked at UNH. UNH is on our watch list. Alibaba. Okay, so we took Alibaba on Friday, well, yesterday. Right before the market closed, we took puts on Alibaba. The reason being is because there's some price exhaustion up here. What do I mean by price exhaustion? I mean, we've been running and running and running and running and running, and we haven't had a cool off period. So with this being said, we started seeing an exhaustion period up here on these highs, and then we started to see some consolidation. So what we're looking for me and my group is we're looking for a move back down, at least halfway. And then one of the things you look at is you have this order block here. So if we do make this move back down, and let's say FOMC and everything aligns, we could come back to 146. So we're basically setting ourselves up for this upcoming week of FOMC. So we're not gonna even have to trade as much because we'll already be in position, which is important, especially going into weeks like this upcoming week. So like the contracts that we have on Coinbase and Alibaba, they could go crazy. But yeah, Alibaba is a trade that we're already in. Looks really good. If you wanted to take this trade, I will wait until we get puts under 152 would be good, and then take it back down to about 146, which was the gap fill. Really, really good setup. The link in your bio just says 7 days free in the community. That link has expired, I'm pretty sure. Watching charts at midnight. I don't know who I've become. You've become a person who wants more for themselves. Trust me, there's nothing out there in whatever world that everybody else is living in. There's nothing out there. I promise you. So this is AMD. Not worth taking. What I will do is I'll mark out this daily order block here. No particular setup that I would take here though. You got support all under you. You do have this gap at 152. Could it play out? Yes. What could possibly happen is this could chop up. Let's look at Apple. So we got Apple. Let's go ahead and remove those. So Apple is actually bouncing off of this level. One of the things I'm looking at on Apple though is we are in this 235 to 224 range. So we're kind of just bouncing in between. Up here you got all-time highs as well. Are you watching all these stocks on a 1 day? Yeah, right now I'm looking at the daily. Right now I'm looking at the daily. Since the market is closed and the market's not about to open or anything. Let's see here. Let's see. So we got all-time highs, this range. We got order block here. This is a very strong candlestick. This is a reversal. So this is a 2-1-2 reversal per the Strat. If you know the Strat, you should know this combination. 2 down, 1 up, 2 continuation to the upside, coming back into resistance. So this was once the ceiling. We broke above the ceiling, came down and retested, created a new high, a new ceiling. We broke below the ceiling, came back to a recent floor, and now we're coming back up to the ceiling. So I would look for a break above like 236 before I even be confident in calls. If not, we could come back and retest this level and then go lower, because we do have like some major gaps on Apple. This is the Strat 2-1-2 reversal. You got me curious, what app are you using to show these graphs? TradingView. We're using TradingView right now. So we did Apple, not really looking at anything on Apple. Palantir coming up on another level of resistance here after consolidating. Actually has a lot of relative strength here. So we were stuck in this range. This gap has already been filled. Actually, I could have kept that, but I'm gonna mark out this lower gap here. This is a gap to the upside up here at 183. Let me go to the weekly time frame. Yeah, this is a very strong weekly candle close. It's likely we could come up and fill this gap. One thing I always do too is I read the body of a candlestick, like how it closes. That's really, really important. How a candlestick closes. Yeah, Lotus, that backlight actually died. Okay, on the daily, yeah, this is a strong close. You could see Palantir make this next run to about 177, about 176, 177. Palantir doesn't look bad at all, but you just got to be careful with next week. And then I think we already looked at Amazon. Okay, cool. So we already went through my watch list. So my watch list are these right here. SPX, IWM, Tesla, Oracle, Robinhood, Coinbase, UNH, Alibaba. What is this? Palantir, Apple. Wait, no, AMD, Apple, Palantir, Amazon. These are my watch list. And then I do need to add QQQ on here as well. Just for the tech sector, because a lot of these are tech. Affirm's not on my watch list. It's not liquid enough. It doesn't have enough momentum around it. We'll take a look at QQQ. So QQQ broke all-time highs last week. Let me go ahead and redo this. So here on the daily, we have this recent level. 583 is a really key level. 583 is a really key level here. Next support level is going to be 574 here. this clear level out here, 558. Go up to the weekly time frame. So you got this 3-2 continuation. Nothing really too clear here. Go to the daily, go back down to the 4-hour. Yeah, it's just been melting upward. It's just kind of been cruising. So we'll see how it reacts this week with Powell speaking. Thoughts on SoFi? I don't really look into SoFi too much. You think Oracle fills the gap down again? As long as this upcoming week, FOMC, if the market sells off, it's definitely likely we could fill that gap. Order block is basically support and resistance. It's another way of saying that. Yeah, QQQ is climbing, but this catalyst that's coming up, if this catalyst goes against us, it's cooked. I don't know. We might sell off for a little minute. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. If you look at SPX, yeah, we had looked at SPX earlier. Yeah, see, look, this is what I mean when I say something looks toppy. Like retest, liquidity grab here, right? So you broke above this level, 6,600, which is a round level, right? Liquidity grab, meaning we broke above, we faked out the buyers, and we swung back lower, and we closed lower. And then you have gaps under you. This does not look good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this does not look good. You got this gap here. Let me go ahead and do this. You got a fail 2 up on the daily time frame, just not looking good. Not looking good at all. But we'll see. You never know. You never know. The market has been relentless. I don't know everything. So we could definitely break above and maybe go to a 6650 or 6700 in the next month or so. Who knows? I don't know everything. I'm just, coming in thinking what could possibly happen. Okay. Yo, so if you guys are in this live right now, you have a 9 to 5 active income, or you have a few $1,000s liquid and you already trade, and you're just struggling, or you want to be a better trader and you want to do this more often. You want to learn this strategy, the Strat, smart money concepts. In my personal opinion, the one thing that'll really click for you, that'll allow you to really grow your account. If that sounds like you and you really want to do this, all you have to do is click this yellow button down here. I'm hosting a free live trading workshop via Zoom. I can only seat 1,000 traders. So I'll be teaching you the Strat. I'll be teaching you my favorite combinations and my entries and exits. I'll also be teaching smart money concepts, which is big money, like whales, how to identify where they're putting their money at. I'll also be going over how to compound and grow an account. So if you have $1,000, $2,000 account plus, I'll show you how to actually grow that account realistically without looking for insane runs all the time. And then I'll give you guys a couple other things that will be very, very important and helpful. So if you're not completely broke, this is for you. So all you have to do if you're on TikTok live is click this yellow button right here. It says Service Plus, or it's just a yellow button. You click it and you'll be able to register for the live workshop within 2 clicks of a button. If you don't see this yellow button right here and you're not able to register, just go to the link in my bio really quick, and then you'll be able to register through there. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to answer questions for the next 5 minutes before I jump off. This way it gives you guys time to register for the live workshop. So make sure you guys go ahead and do so right now. This is the time to do it. If you haven't already, this is the time to do it while I answer questions. Love that you use Sadie ATR levels. I love his tools. Yes, his tools are pretty fire. Shout out to Sadie. So right now, while people are registering right here, this is your time to ask questions. So again, if you're on TikTok live, click this yellow button. If you don't see the yellow button, go to my page. If you're on YouTube, then if you guys are on YouTube, then I'll type it down below in the chat for my YouTubers. Shout out to the YouTube community. Yo, shout out to Mac for the follow on Twitch. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Damn, I cannot spell. /workshop. Okay, YouTube, it's right there. Shout out to 80. Shout out to you for the sub. Shout out to JP for the sub. Shout out to A8 Trading for the sub. Shout out to Juan for the sub. Shout out to Eric for the sub. Shout out to Comic for the sub. Shout out to Lavo for the sub. Cinco, appreciate you for the sub. Greatly appreciate all the subs today, guys. What time is the workshop? It's going to be Sunday the 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern. I chose a time where most people are usually off. So it's going to be on a Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's next Sunday. Next Sunday. What other questions you guys got? What are you reading? Trading? What do you mean? What indicator is that that's marking out the levels for you? 50%er. Best advice for beginners other than money wise? Journal. Journal for sure. You can't grow what you don't scale. I mean, you can't grow what you don't track. So if you're not tracking your performance, it's going to be hard for you to improve it. Do we have to join the free group to be notified when the live workshop starts? Yes. You do want to make sure that you are in that free group 100%. Because you're also going to be talking to other people who are going to be at that workshop. So you guys can communicate to each other. There's a 7-hour course that goes with the workshop as well. It's free prior to the workshop. But you definitely want to be in there, because if you're not in that group, you're not going to be able to access the curriculum that comes with it. I'm starting to learn when you're trading and when you stop to withdraw the money. Absolutely, it's important. You don't have to have a WAPA account. You can create one. Will the market crash this year? Who knows? I don't know. Any books in particular you read that help you with the mental aspect of trading? Trading in the Zone is definitely one of my favorites. Not one of my favorites. It's my favorite trading book for sure. He has 2 books. There's Trading in the Zone, and then there's I can't remember the other name of it. Tracking like when losses or wins, or potentially, yeah, you want to track your losses, your wins, where the entry came from, why you took the entry, what was your emotions like, how was the exit, so on and so forth. When you withdraw, does the money value stay in the high numbers of money? What do you mean? Can it help me pass my funded account? I mean, I don't really use prop firms, but yeah. What country are you from? So I know exactly I'm from the US. I am in Eastern time frame, Eastern Standard Time. Hey Tez, joined your group a week ago. Do you have a video where you actually buying and selling options? I'm confused by the option chain. Go to Webull. That's the one that we use. Read. Gold bias for this week. I haven't looked at gold. Okay. If you guys have not already on TikTok, again, click this yellow button. I'm giving you guys like 3 minutes to reserve your free seat. So click this button, put your information in, and then go to the next page, and it'll reserve your seat to register for the live workshop. Click this yellow button. If you don't see it, if you don't have a yellow button right here, just run over to the link in my bio and go ahead and register. I know you don't use them now, but as a beginner, did you ever use prop firms? Nah, I was never really into prop firms. I don't like taking people's profits and like the majority profit split. I don't like the profit split. I don't like the rules behind it. I don't think it's really good for a trader to lose money on blow an account and then just pay for a whole nother funded account. For me personally, I think it's better you lose your own money so you know how to control yourself. But yeah, I never use funded accounts. But with me trading options, there's really not too many opportunities to be using a funded account. I know there's starting to be prop firms for options trading, but I don't use them. Is the market open? No. I asked ChatGPT to compare for trading the football, and it all made sense. It's literally just understanding the game. That's it, SR. That's it. Would you be showing what indicators to use in workshop? I have a PowerPoint presentation. I don't know how. Let me think. Nah, not all of them. I'll give you a few, maybe if you ask during the Q&A, but nah. Prop firms are quality. You can trade with 50K plus. Just because you could trade with more doesn't mean you're a better trader, though. If you can't grow a 5K account, there's no way in fucking hell you're going to grow a 50K account. Do you actually have different days for this again? Not able to join this one, but want to in the future? I don't know yet. I'll let you guys know. If you just hit the follow button, though, you join these ones. These are free, just like these classes here. Which strat combinations do you normally trade? you will be able to find that out in the live workshop when you click this yellow button right here. I'll be explaining the only 2 candle setups that I trade from the Strat. I'm about to have so many of your bots following me after this live. I'll be trying to block them, bro. TikTok is just relentless. They just will not get rid of the bots. Risk management, most important aspect of trading. Absolutely. And emotional trading. Or emotions. All right, guys. So I gave you guys 5 minutes to go register. If you have not already, you can always go click the link in my bio. You can join the free Discord that comes with a free 7-hour course in there. Or if you have a active income, you have a few $1,000s liquid, you're not completely broke, and you want to learn more about this, you can either click this yellow button right here, or you can go to the link in my bio and you can reserve a free seat to the live workshop coming up next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I can only seat 1,000 people. So once that hits capacity, that is it. I can't do nothing else about it. These are Zoom restrictions. If I could have more of you, I would, but we're currently at when we first started, we were at like 703 reserved seats. So I'm pretty sure there was a couple hundred people who came in from here today. So we'll see where we're at, and I'll let you guys know probably not tomorrow, but Monday. All right. Love you guys dearly. Do you have a regular 9 to 5? No, I haven't worked a job in like 5.5 years, 6 years. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. Hope you guys learned something. Make sure you guys hit the follow button. Appreciate all the subs. Thank you guys for all the gifted. I love you guys dearly, and I can't wait to catch you guys in the next one. So make sure you guys hit the follow button, and yeah, make sure you guys go register by clicking the link in my bio.